Man, Alex Pereira isn't just another fighter. He's one of those once-in-a-generation forces. You know, the kind of guy that doesn't just hit hard, he touches you, and everything in your body just shuts down. It's like that mythical death punch some fighters are just born with. Chuck Liddell had it. Deontay Wilder's got a version of it. And Alex? Yeah, he's built different. Let me tell you something that'll blow your mind. So, I'm sparring with Alex up in Connecticut. Just a regular day, right? We're going at it. 3 brutal rounds, full intensity. I'm talking war. And somehow, by some miracle, I'm getting out of there without eating any of those monstrous shots he's famous for. I'm dead tired, but I'm feeling good, proud even. Then they bring in this wrestler, and not just any wrestler, a serious high-level dude. Fresh legs, fresh lungs. And Alex? He's already gassed from 3 rounds with me. You'd think it's over. The wrestler starts mauling him, shooting takedowns, pinning him to the cage, raining overhands. Alex is getting smothered, but then halfway through the round, boom, a single uppercut. Just a short, sharp touch, and that's it. The wrestler's done, completely out of it. It wasn't even a wild swing, it looked effortless. It's like Pereira barely flicked his wrist, and the dude folded. That's not power, that's something supernatural. And yeah, sure, he's built like a monster, 6'4", carved out of granite, Brazilian genetics doing their thing. But let's not pretend muscles throw themselves. That kind of timing, that kind of precision, that comes from insane discipline. His coach Glover Teixeira always says the same thing. Alex isn't just a powerhouse. He's one of the smartest fighters you'll ever meet. His fight IQ is off the charts. Glover says coaching him doesn't even feel like coaching. It's more like trying to keep up with a genius who's already 2 steps ahead of you. Alex will show him something, some weird setup or a new strike pattern, and Glover admits, it used to take him years to fully understand what Alex was doing. He once compared it to Isaac Newton or Da Vinci, visionaries who were misunderstood in their own time. Pereira was like that in the gym. The things he was experimenting with, the ideas he was cooking up, most people couldn't even grasp it. Now Glover says it finally clicked. He finally gets what Alex meant all along. That's when you realize, this guy wasn't just fighting to win. He was redefining what and it's not just talk. You feel it when he walks into a room. That aura, that quiet heavy energy that champions carry. I remember someone saying they met Alex for the first time backstage, before a fight, both middleweights at the time. And the guy said he'll never forget that moment. Because even though he was one of the biggest middleweights in the division, standing next to Alex made him feel small. He couldn't even figure out how Pereira made 185 pounds. His bones looked different, his stance, his calmness, everything about him screamed danger. Then there's this story from the UFC Performance Institute. When word got around that Alex Pereira was upstairs sparring, everyone got curious. Fighters, coaches, everyone wanted a glimpse. And when they saw him training, man, it wasn't just physical, it was art. Glover Teixeira was there, dripping in sweat, running the room like a captain steering his ship. You had Jeannie Rivera in there too. All these high-level minds bouncing ideas around. And when the rounds were over, when the gloves were off, they didn't just leave. They stayed for an hour, breaking down positions, exchanging philosophies, dissecting angles and timing, like scientists. That's what makes Pereira terrifying. He's not just powerful, he's a student of the game. He's constantly learning, adapting, reinventing himself. You train with him once, and he'll come back the next day with something completely new, something he invented. He's the kind of guy who'll hit you with a move that didn't even exist last week. I've trained with kickboxers transitioning to MMA. I've trained with world-class jiu-jitsu guys, trying to learn striking. Most of them struggle. It takes years for things to click. But Alex, he absorbs it instantly. He processes new techniques like a machine, and then he improves them. He's creating his own blueprint as he goes. That's why people say his ceiling doesn't exist. And you know what's crazy? We still don't give him enough credit for how big he really is. I mean, people talk about him moving from middleweight to light heavyweight, like it's no big deal. But this dude walks around at 232 pounds. That's a heavyweight frame. You're looking at a guy who fought Israel Adesanya at 185, and now he's cracking skulls at 205, like it's nothing. And no one, I mean no one, can take him down. He's got that size, that presence, that unshakable calm. When the cage door closes, you can feel the energy shift when he fights. It's like the air gets heavier. And then there's that story from another fighter who met Alex just days before a card. They were sitting side by side during a press conference. Barely any words exchanged because of the language barrier. But the tension was real. The fighter said he could feel Pereira sizing him up, not in a rude way, not trying to intimidate him, just silently analyzing, studying, like a predator assessing distance. He told his dad afterward, "I think he believes he can beat me." And his dad asked, "Did he say that?" He said, "No, I just felt it." That's the thing about Alex Pereira. You don't need him to talk to know what he's thinking. He doesn't need to posture, doesn't need to threaten, doesn't need to say a word. His presence says it all. You ever watch a guy throw one punch and the whole arena goes quiet because you know right then that nothing's the same anymore? Then that's Alex Pereira. Stay with me. This one's wild. Alex Pereira is the kind of fighter you don't just prepare for, you prepare to survive. When you step into his world, you're not trading rounds, you're walking through a thunderstorm with no umbrella. He's got the height, the timing, the instincts, and that left hook. People call him Poatan for a reason. Hands of stone. And when he lands, things break. I saw clips of him rolling in the gym with Glover Teixeira and others, and honestly, it's scary how natural it looks. This isn't some overnight conversion from kickboxer to MMA guy. It's a black belt level understanding of position and timing, but built on a base of raw, almost unfair power. In the videos, you can see Glover chiming in, little adjustments here and there, but Pereira's the one who brings the wrecking ball. You see that awareness on the ground too. He protects himself. He understands space. He's not helpless on the mat, far from it. And the power, oh man, the power. People talk about power like it's a checkbox. With Alex, it's a personality trait. He hits like it's personal. You can train technique until your hands fall off. You can drill timing and footwork every day. But natural punching power, that's rare. He's got that rare sauce. It's what makes opponents make bad decisions. They have to step into danger to land anything, which means they usually walk through that left hook or the right hand to even touch him. And if you do walk through it, you might not wake up. Here's what separates him. It's not just the knockout shot, it's the chain reaction. He'll land a leg kick to mess up your stance, force you to shuffle into an awkward position, then catch you with a heavy punch while your balance is off. That sequence, leg kick, compromised footwork, then a punishing headshot, that's how he turns a single strike into a collapse. It's clinical, it's unforgiving, and it's beautiful in a terrifying way. People keep saying he's not the most complete fighter. Fair. He's not a robot who knows every trick in the manual. But completeness doesn't matter when your strikes create dilemmas. When every option your all but opponent chooses is worse than the last. You can be the smartest fighter in the room, but Pereira forces choices that don't have good outcome. That's fight IQ that manifests as pure violence. I remember hearing stories about training rounds where teammates have to be smart, light sparring, hands up, don't be reckless, because this guy's knockout power isn't a myth. Sean Strickland put it bluntly, if you agree to get in there with him, you're basically agreeing to get your head tested. Even fighters who aren't scared of him know their chin is one clean shot away from lights out. That's not hype, that's a reality. When someone carries that kind of one-shot destructive capability combined with timing. And the mental side, this guy turns up like a missile. When he's locked in, you can see it. Eyes hard, body language saying he's going to move you like furniture. He's not out there trying to steal rounds. He's trying to end career. When he storms the cage, it looks like he's about to be launched from a cannon. Every shot has every step forward eliminates space for his opponent to breathe or think. Let's not forget how fast this rise has been. In a fraction of the time many fighters spend building a resume, he's been in top-level fights constantly. Title fights, big cards, call-ups with zero hesitation. Promoters love those guys, the ones who pick up the phone and go, I'm in. The sport needs stars who take fights, and Pereira's got the kind of reputation where you don't have to twist his arm. There have been moments where he looked refreshed after breaks, where time off healed him and sharpened him, like somebody switching from a marathon pace to a sprint when it counts. And even when people talk about defensive holes, yeah, sometimes his hands can be exposed when he backs up. Those holes feel irrelevant when the risk to close the distance is literally walking into a left hook that can erase your night. Remember his matchup with Magomed Ankalaev? Fast, violent, decisive. One right hand landed right on the temple, and that was it. The kind of shot that makes highlight reels and causes medical staff to say, that's gonna be a long night for him. Even elite athletes with great chins don't like to be touched by that kind of precision and force. It's a psychological weapon as much as a physical one. I've got respect for the guy beyond the punches. He's been in Canada's top mines, picking up grappling, learning wrestling, absorbing what it takes to survive in MMA. That humility to go learn, to grab what Glover or other vets offer, that's what turns a knockout artist into a real champion. He trains, sure, but he also seems to absorb the kind of lessons that make his finishes inevitable rather than flukes. So where does that leave the rest of the division?
Nervous.
Practical, calculating. You can train for everything in the textbook, but you can't train to be born a natural puncher. Someone like Pereira flips the script. He makes you play chess on a board full of landmines. Even if you're not afraid to fight him, you have to be afraid of being made to look foolish, and of being made to pay for a split-second misstep. At the end of the day, watching Alex is watching controlled carnage. It's watching the moment when preparation meets an almost unfair physical gift. He's not the most polished on paper, but he's a nightmare to prepare for. He instruments chaos, and that's why everyone watches with the same mix of awe and white-knuckled tension. When he runs across the octagon, he's not trying to win rounds, he's trying to take your head off. And when he gets going, there aren't many answers. There are only consequences. If you love fights that feel like
Moments in history.
the ones you'll show someone 5 years from now, and say, did you see that? Pereira's fights are exactly that. You don't just watch Alex Pereira, you brace, and then you come out of it, remembering why combat sports are still absolutely savage and utterly brilliant.